98FM. The sound of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m.
With Adrian Kennedy.
Did you see all the selfies that appeared on online with people on that Southwestern Airlines plane the other day, plunging potentially to their deaths?
Yes, Adrian, I did. I have the story here. These photographs have gone viral over the last 24 hours. If you remember the show yesterday, we were talking about the woman who was literally sucked out of the plane when the window...
And she wasn't actually sucked out of the plane because they pulled her back in again. But anyway.
You know what I mean. Yeah. She was out of the plane at one stage and then she came back in. Well, images have appeared online in the last 24 hours showing the passengers on board the Southwest airline as it was going down. So what happened was the cabin pressure in the plane was compromised, and what happens when that happens is the air masks come down from the head, from on top of you, and you put them on your face. As you will know, anytime you get on a flight, the air hostess tells you how to do this. Place the mask over your nose and mouth.
Yep.
Attend to yourselves before children. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Well, photographs emerged of people on this flight taking selfies as the plane was about to crash. Or they didn't know.
They didn't know, no.
They didn't know. But obviously the face masks came down from the top.
Now, that in itself would be terrifying.
The plane started taking a dive straight away. And some people on the flight, by the way, they all put their masks on wrong. You're supposed to cover your nose and mouth with it. A lot of them did it wrong. But people, the first thing that popped into their head when they thought they were going to die was...
whip out the phone and take a selfie.
Now, I don't know about you, Adrian, but if you've ever been faced with death, the last thing on your mind is taking a selfie because you're not going to be around to post it anywhere. You're dead. What's the point in taking...
Well, somebody might find your phone.
Sorry, if your plane crashes
out
of the sky, that phone ain't going to be...
my OtterBox case is brilliant. It'd survive anything.
I understand OtterBox cases are very good at protecting phones, but they're not going to protect your phone from 36,000 feet.
Maybe not.
If a plane crashes, your phone is shagged, okay? You're never going to be able to use it again. But it showed two men in particular. The plane is going down, nosedive. They have their oxygen masks on their face and they are taking selfies. Someone else, we believe, did a Facebook Live video when the plane was going down to about to hit the ground. And it got us thinking, and it's something we've never spoken about before. But myself and Adrian were talking about this before the show, and it's affected us both. Have you ever had a near-death experience? Let me just change the music. A near-death experience. And this is... By the way, this isn't waking up on a Sunday morning after being out on the rip on the Saturday night.
And thinking you're nearly dead.
No, that's not what it is. But have you ever been in a situation where you thought... This is it. This is the end. I'm going to die. I'm not going to get out of this alive. Like those people on the plane. Because I'd be interested to find out what goes through people's minds when they think that their time is up. Now, maybe it was you went in for an operation that you didn't think you were going to come out of. Maybe you were you were swimming in the sea on holidays and you nearly drowned.
Tell me your story. Well, by the way, we'd love to hear from you if you've ever had a near-death experience. Call Katie on 6797981. Katie's, by the way, was turbulence on an aeroplane.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. That's not near-death experience.
It's really bad, she said.
Yeah, or you can text or WhatsApp your comments to 0877 98 98 98. So these are times where you thought, this is it.
Yep, my number's up.
My number's up. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. My one was, I was on holidays in Austria a couple of years ago, and we decided to take a cable car up to one of those Mont something. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
And myself and my missus. And I was a bit dubious about it because cable cars wouldn't be the safest thing in the world. And she said, I want to go up to the top of the mountain. So we get in this cable car. It's a 2-seater cable car, yeah?
Yeah.
That goes up to the top of the ski mountain. And halfway up, through the journey, a storm comes out of nowhere. You have clouds, winds, really high winds. This just came over it was like a scene out of a Hollywood movie. The storm came over the mountain and the cable car started rocking from side to side. You couldn't see out because the wind and the hail was that strong. And you could feel that the bar and the cable that was holding the cable car up was bending. And I'm not a religious person, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in no God or no man. But I can tell you now, and my wife will vouch for this, when that cable car started shaking and I thought it was going to snap, I was saying prayers. I said prayers I didn't even know I had the words to, Adrian. I said the...
So you genuinely thought...
I thought, all joking aside, I thought this is it. This is how I'm going to die. I'm going to die. The cable car is going to snap, and it's going to... And we were pretty bloody high up. Like, had it fallen down, forget about it. You weren't living. And I'm just thinking to myself, that's it. And then the things that pop into your head when you think you're going to die, you start thinking about God, first of all. I don't care what anybody says. If you are the most agnostic person in the world who doesn't believe in God, I'm telling you, when you think your time is up, you pray. And then you're thinking as well, all the things that you never did in your life.
Call us right now on 6797981 if you've
By the way,
ever had
the cable car didn't crash.
Obviously, you're sitting here.
I'm grand.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Now, my story is I was on holidays many, many years ago with my ex-wife, okay?
That's a near-death experience.
Jeez, I hope she's not listening. I wouldn't even say that.
Oh, no, is that what you were going to say?
No.
Oh, sorry. There's more to the story.
Yes.
Oh,
sorry. The
I came in too close there. Sorry.
Was not going on a holiday with my ex-wife.
That's not what you told me.
No, anyway.
Sorry.
So there we are. We're on holidays in Florida, and I wanted to do paragliding off the back of a boat. Yeah, where you go up in the...
I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you go up in the...
You stand on the back of the boat and,
and it lifts up. Yeah.
Parasailing.
Parasailing, that's it. Yep. So we're doing this. I'm doing it on this lake in Florida near Orlando somewhere.
Lake Buena Vista.
Whatever it was called, I don't know.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm flying around. Everything's hunky-dory. I'm looking down. I can see the boat and everything's going swimmingly. Yeah?
Okay.
And the next thing, this downdraft of wind literally shot me down into the water. Right?
Push you down.
Pushed me right down into the water, and then I'm being dragged along by the boat. They hadn't even noticed that I'd come out of the sky. I was in the water, right? And I was dragged through the water for about... It felt like about 5 minutes. It was about a minute, I think. But I thought, that's it, I'm gone. I am gone, because I thought I was going to drown.
And your ex-wife is on the boat going... No?
No, she was actually my wife at the time.
So
Not
she was
my
gone.
ex-wife. No, she wasn't.
So, how? All joking aside, that doesn't sound as scary as my one.
It was. It actually was. I thought they weren't going to notice me, and I was being pulled through the water, and the water was going into me. I was breathing in the water. I thought I was going to drown. I really did.
Okay, so what went through your head at that?
Literally.
Well, a lot of water, I would imagine, went through your head.
But literally, I thought, this is it.
But what did you see the tunnel in front of you?
No, I didn't see any tunnel. No, because I couldn't see anything because I was dragged through the water. But I genuinely thought, I am a goner here. I am finished.
Excuse me, but when you do come through a near-life death experience, it gives you a new perspective on life. You live each day like it's your last, don't you?
Well, no, I'd forgotten about it until you said this today. So you have to raking up this whole thing on me. So no, I'm not living my day life.
Are you going on holidays with your ex-wife?
What? She wasn't my ex-wife at the time.
But you just said I was on holidays with my ex-wife.
She's my now ex-wife.
And when you got onto the boat,
yeah.
Did she realise the severity of the problem here? That you could have died?
Oh yeah, by the time they realised that I was in the water, and then they stopped the boat, so therefore they stopped dragging me. But it was.
Did you sue them?
No, he actually gave me a free go on it.
What, you going on the second time?
No, I took a jet ski instead. I wouldn't do it again. Anyway, love to hear from you. 6797981. What was your near-death experience? Lauren, you're on 98FM. Hiya, Lauren.
Hiya.
Now, Lauren, tell me your story.
Well, when I was in school, when I was younger, I'd gotten off a bus on my way to school, and I was going to the shop, so I walked out in front of the bus that was parked, but forgot about the cars that were coming from behind. And I swear to God, I stood in the middle of the road, and it was like time just stopped just before this car hit me. And when I came to on the ground, I could have sworn I was seeing bright lights. I honestly thought I was going to die.
So when you woke up, you thought you were dead?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You thought you'd already passed?
I think it was the bang to the head, but all I could see was bright lights.
Oh my God.
And it is something that a lot of people have had, that near-death experience, where you literally think, this is it. I'm gone. I'm finished.
I really did. I thought I was going to die. And just before the car hit me, it was like time just completely slowed. It was like slow motion, and I could not physically move myself in the middle of the road.
That is unbelievable, yeah. That's an awful story.
But I walked away with not a broken bone.
So once again, the car knocked you down. It came from behind, so you didn't even see the car coming?
No, we see, I the traffic lights were like 10 steps away, but I walked out in front of the bus thinking, right, the bus has stopped, people are getting on, and I'd forgotten about the cars that were coming from behind the bus. And that's when it hit me, but it was caught on CCTV from the bus. And when the car clipped me, it sent me flying across the other side of the road.
And has your near-death experience changed your outlook on life? Like, do you feel differently about life now?
No.
No.
I still don't cross at the traffic lights.
But like I said, well, I won't go up in a paraglider. I won't do that paragliding thing
Or
anymore.
holiday with your ex-wife.
No, I don't think that's on the cards either. No,
I think you'd be safer on the paraglide.
But ever since then, I've never done that since.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
No, and I know it's 90% of the time it's as safe as a house, but no, I just won't do it again. Thank you, Lauren. Peter, you're on 98FM. How are you, Peter?
Hey lads, how you getting on?
Hey, Peter.
Peter, tell me your near-death experience.
I was on holidays with my wife in Turkey, and we decided to go and take a horse trekking tour.
Oh yeah, very good. Yeah.
Which sounded really, really nice at the time. I'm not an experienced horse rider, and they looked at me and put me on this big, huge horse, the biggest horse, because I'm quite tall. And they said, yeah, you go on that one, you'll be fine. So we're walking down through this sort of this valley along a cliffside, and the horse decides it wants to back me off a cliff.
Uh-oh.
Literally, he starts sitting down and putting his legs, his ass to the ground and trying to slide me off the back of a cliff.
Now, how much of a cliff are we talking?
You're talking about 300 or 400 feet.
Yeah, you'd be dead.
That's a cliff.
You'd be dead sort of cliff.
Yeah, and I shit myself. Excuse my language, sorry.
I can imagine.
I thought I was going like that girl. I froze for literally a split second, and I just jumped off. I jumped off to the nearest point I could and just told him, here, take your horse. Because I thought I'd never get off the back of that thing. I'm even shaking even thinking about it.
Right, so you thought, my number's up, I'm gone, I'm going off the side of this cliff, there's no way back.
That's it. I literally thought, and then I unclipped myself out of the stirrups and literally just jumped off, and I was so adamant not to get back on the horse, and they were like,
well, I wouldn't blame you.
And again, I'm fascinated by this. What went through your mind when you obviously thought you were going to die? You thought this.
I thought it was dead. I was looking at my wife, and I was looking at and looking at the instructors. Within a split second, I thought, this is it. Done.
Did you tell your wife you loved her just before you died?
I didn't even say that. I just sort of looked. I can imagine the fright had me in shock. I was shaking. I got off the horse, and then the man says, here, you take mine and I'll take that one. See, a man got on the horse I was on, and they tried to back him off it as well.
Well, you know what I think?
Sorry, this horse had a death wish.
Oh, it literally had a death wish.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, it was like sea biscuits.
There's one thing, Peter, that I do every single day, and I think a lot of people listening should do this one thing in their life. I'm not trying to be too preachy here, but it's a one thing that I do if I'm ever going to work, or if I'm going out at night, Peter, is no matter whether or not I'm having a row with my missus. Like all marriages, we row, and sometimes we have fairly bad rows, okay?
Yeah.
But no matter how bad we row, if I'm leaving to work late at night, because sometimes I work late nights, yeah? And if I'm leaving to go to work at night, no matter how angry I am with her or how angry she is with me, I will always say I love you, because you never know. You never know. You never know that you're not going to return home.
Absolutely.
When you leave your house, and sometimes when you're having a row with them, you want to slam the door and you want to storm off and you want to go you know what I mean? You want to say that to them, yeah.
And instead you say, "Oh, I love you, darling."
I have, because it happened to a friend of mine who was a guard. And he's told me the story, and it completely changed the way I look at things. He was a guard, and he had a row with his wife one night and went out to go to work, got stabbed in the line of duty, ended up in hospital, had a near-death experience. And he said when he was lying on the bed, lying on the gurney, and thought he was going to bleed to death, the one thing that was going through his mind was, the last time I saw my wife, we called each other horrible names.
So just crazy, yeah, you're right.
But unfortunately,
no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but life does that to us. That we do have rows and we do storm.
But
out.
imagine,
I stormed out of our house a couple of weeks ago.
I know, you came in here like a demon.
I did. Stormed out of the house like a demon. I was.
Well, you came to work like a demon as well.
No, but the point is, I could have got into my car and had a car crash and killed myself.
Yes,
but you can't live your life like that.
No, but what I'm saying is, never let the last words you say to a loved one be F off.
Yeah, nasty,
so instead, you're I hate you.
What sort of rebel was that?
And then storming out the door.
Bleeding neck of you.
Yeah. So there I am. I'm really cross with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say,
you have no idea what's going on in my life.
Yeah. And I said, the neck of you.
Yeah.
Right. And then I stormed out the door. So you're saying I should have peeked my head back in the door and said, "Love you."
I love you.
What do you think, Pete? I think
I don't know. I think in hindsight, it's a great idea.
Yeah,
However,
but
I can see what Adrian's saying there. Like, you're not going to walk back in. And by the way, love you.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me.
That would look like you were taking the piss, to be honest.
Yeah, you come across as an absolute condescending.
The neck of you!
By the way, I love you.
Slam the door, stick your head back in. Love you.
Well, I'm just saying I do it. Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, but you're a freak anyway. Now, Paul, tell me what happened to you here in Dublin.
Me, yeah.
Yeah, because we're actually shocked that you're still alive, to be honest.
Me and a mate of mine were out on the drink all day, and we went up to the Summit in Howth. You know the Summit?
I do know it well, yep.
The pub. We were drunk. We had to get refused from Charlie's, and it was, you could drive then. Well, I'm not saying you could drive, but you used to drive then. So we drove up past Charlie's. They wouldn't let us in. My mate was barred, so we drove up to the Summit. So as I drive by the door there, and we see who's on. So I knew the doorman. I said, right, drive up. And you know where you go up there, and you can look out at the sea and get your end away or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, there's a car park near the Summit pub, which is fairly high up. I've never got my end away there, I have to say, but there's lovely views.
No, it's up past the Summit. If you go past the side of the Summit, it brings you up. You can see out to the sea. So I said, no, pull in there. I want to have a piss. So I stepped out of the car, walked around the back of the car and stepped over the wall and just kept rolling until I hit the bottom.
And you fell 500 feet?
I rolled 300 feet, bounced over all the paths. You know, there's all walkways and paths?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bounced over all of them and went off the edge of the cliff then, 200 feet then, and landed on a flat rock just in the water, about 15 feet out from the water, from the shore.
And were you badly injured?
What do you think, Adrian?
No, I'm asking a question.
I was out of hospital in a week, but I was injured enough, yeah. My ankle, my left foot was torn right around, facing to the back of my leg.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, right. Yeah.
I had 4 bones in my spine cracked. I had 4 ribs. I lost an inch.
So in answer to your question, yes, Adrian.
Injured,
yes, he was.
So as you were rolling down and falling down this hill and cliff, what went through your mind?
I'll be honest, I thought it was like a Homer Simpson moment. It was like, and then it was just, I'll stop when I stop. I wasn't thinking I was going to go off a cliff. I thought there was fences or whatever. I just didn't know, you know what I mean? But the doctor told me, I had only got married. I was 4 weeks married. And I had brought back a bottle of this rum from Jamaica. And the doctor told me only for a week I had drank that. He said I would have been tensed up. I'd have been grabbing at everything the whole lot. He said that's probably what saved me.
Oh, being drunk is what saved you?
That's what he reckoned, yeah, the doctor,
Oh, my God, that's unbelievable.
And do you obviously feel like you've cheated death then, do you?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, yeah. So Jesus, who survives that?
Wow.
And have you ever felt that death might come knocking? You know, remember the horror movie? What's the horror movie where they all cheat death and then death comes looking for them? Well, I don't know.
That's bullshit. Things happen for
Well,
a
it was
reason,
21 years ago and he's still knocking around. So, fair play, Paul. Thanks very much indeed. We just got a text here. It's amazing the stories people make up, right? Lads, says this message, Coppers closes about 5:30 some nights.
No, it doesn't.
That is bloody outrageous to say that. Coppers, like everywhere.
And if it did, I'd be there every night.
Yeah, no, Coppers, like everywhere, has a licence until 2:30, so it closes at 2:30.
But I remember you and I were out there drinking one night, Adrian, yeah?
Yeah.
And we had a few.
Yeah.
And when we left the premises, it was bright out and the birds were singing.
It was something to do with the clocks changing or something. I can't remember what it was.
Did the clocks change by 4 hours?
But Coppers everywhere has to close at 2:30. So
again, we arrive at a Coppers. Milkmen coming down the road.
I can't explain that. I just can't.
Anyway, 500 feet. That is some fun. Have you ever been up in the car park at the Summit of Howth?
Yeah, it's fairly high.
Interesting.
I was only there a few weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you live on your own. There's no need for that carry-on.
I don't live on my own. I live with my wife.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I mean. There's no need for that carry-on. You know it's a make-out spot. It's the most popular make-out spot in Dublin.
Oh.
And you're up there in your car. Were you flashing headlights at other motorists? Come join us.
So, Matthew, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Matthew?
How are you, Adam?
Matthew, tell me your near-death experience.
3 years ago, we went fishing with my friend. We knew the weather's going to change around the midday, so we went down on the other side of the lake, and 10 o'clock, we make a decision to come back before the weather changed.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the weather changed straight, let's say 10:30 in the middle of the lake. The waves were so high, they basically covered the boat. The boat was filling with the water really, really quick. My engine wasn't too strong to push to push the boat against the waves. So, and the boat was going down and down and down, minute after minute. So, my friend, he's not believing the God, but he was praying the same as Jeremy, and we managed to come back. But after that, we both think we didn't gonna manage, so we're gonna stay under the water.
That is scary. I have to say, there is nothing as fearsome as water when it's getting angry. I'm talking about in a storm or whatever. It is so scary.
And the waves, basically, you wasn't able to see the shore. We didn't know which direction to go, and the little boat, 16 foot, was jumping up and down, so we barely stay on the boat because every single time the boat was going 2 meters up and 2 meters down.
Oh, that sounds
wouldn't you agree, Matthew, that there's no such thing as an atheist facing death? Everybody prays. Everybody prays.
My friend, he's always laughing when we're talking about the God, but this day, I will never forget, he was praying so loud, and after that, when we come back from the water, I said, do you realize what you did on the boat? And he said, what? I said, you actually prayed to the God so loud.
You will.
I agree with you. Thank you, Matthew. And finally, Ben, you cheated death as well. How?
I had a stressing cable went through my body and came out the other side.
A what cable?
A stressing cable that holds up bridges. So basically, when the cable opens up, it'd be like me getting a knitting needle and pushing it into 5 points of your body and out the other side.
Oh my God!
So why would you do that?
You wouldn't voluntarily. So went in through.
Yeah, it went through three strands. Stopped a millimetre from my heart. One went in the top of my chest and came out my back, and it went by the spinal cord. It scratched me pancreas and lacerated my liver.
But it didn't irreparably damage any of your vital organs or your spine.
No, going through it, missing by millimetres, and then I fell off the scaffold then and pulled it all back out.
Oh Jesus!
So you were working on scaffolding at the time, are you?
Yeah.
And did you think you were gone?
Well, I went to the light. People laugh at that, but I
Oh, you did go to the light, did you?
Oh yeah, I rose off the ground. I know people don't believe in this type of stuff. I don't myself, to be honest, but I rose off the ground, heading to a bright light, and it flipped me over and showed me lying on the ground.
Yeah.
And it showed my kids laughing and playing at the kitchen table, and it showed my wife with her face in her hands crying. And then I went no when I came back around.
Stop! Is that's
true?
That's
mad.
Yeah. That's
listeners
true,
listeners are not going to believe your near-death experience now.
Well,
that you elevated off the ground and saw the tunnel.
I had it to a light, and it was a circle, it was a pure white circle, and it fitted. Because I'm used to measurements, it would have fitted me to the millimetre.
That is unbelievable. Well, I'm glad.
I'm surprised you didn't ask him, Edgine, did you have injuries after being impaled on a cable?
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Ben. All right, I have to leave it at that.
Is that mad?
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
98FM. The sound of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m.
With Adrian.